Hello, CC1 students. I am going to walk you through your Introduction to Angles slides. So as you watch this video, you should have already uploaded your student notes to Notability, and then you're going to fill this out as we go. Feel free to stop or pause if I'm going too quickly, or go back and rewatch this if you missed something. But as I go, you're going to be filling in, there's some information and some definitions and things like that you will be filling in your student notes, and then you can use this throughout the rest of the week to help you with the rest of the assignments. So we're going to start here with the parts of an angle. So you have your actual angle here. This is what we are going to be getting to and working on measuring eventually. But an angle is formed when two rays, sides, legs, there's lots of different names for them, meet together at a vertex. Okay, so you have this side, and this is another side. They meet together at this point, which is a vertex, and then the angle is what is formed when those two legs meet. We're going to go over the types of angles. This should be review, so we'll go fairly quickly. So again, if you need to pause for any reason to get the definitions added, do that. But you guys should know all these. So an acute angle is an angle with a measure greater than 0 degrees and less than 90 degrees. So an acute angle is an angle with a measure greater than 0 degrees and less than 90 degrees. 90 degrees would be that right angle, which is our next angle. A right angle is an angle with a measure of exactly 90 degrees. And oftentimes a right angle will be denoted with this little square in the corner. So if you go back to the acute angle, you'll notice that it's more circular, marking that this is the angle. In a right angle, it will be marked with a square, and that's how you know it is exactly 90 degrees. Next, we have an obtuse angle. So this is an angle with a measure greater than 90 degrees and less than 180 degrees. So an obtuse angle is going to be larger than a right angle, but less than 180 degrees, which would be a straight line. So somewhere between a right angle and a straight line. Next, we have a straight angle. So this is an angle with a measure of exactly 180 degrees. It's also just a line. So a straight line or a straight angle measures exactly 180 degrees. And all of these different things are going to come in handy when we start measuring angles, because we won't necessarily just be looking at angles with two sides. We might be looking at angles where we have one line that crosses through another. And so you'll have to do some kind of detective work to figure out what you're working with. So if you have a straight line that measures exactly 180 degrees. A reflex angle. This is one we won't work with too much, but a reflex angle is an angle with a measure greater than 180 degrees, which is our straight line. So it has a measure of greater than that 180 degrees and less than 360 degrees. So 360 degrees would be a circle. So it is greater than 180, but less than 360. So you'll notice where the angle symbol is drawn. It's drawn on the outside of these two sides, or legs or rays or whatever you want to call them. So the reflex angle is on the outside. In here, we would just have our regular, in this case, it would be an obtuse angle. So the reflex angle is on the outside here. All right, labeling and naming angles. This will be important in your work moving forward, they're going to ask you to find the measure of a specific angle, and they will give it to you in a formula or format like this or like this. And so you need to be able to go into the image and figure out exactly what angle they're talking about. You might also be asked to give a certain angle or to label a certain angle. And so there's two different ways that you can do that. The Math Antics video also talks about this. So if you're a little unsure after you watch this, go back and watch that one too, because that has lots of good information on labeling and naming angles. So first of all, if there is a letter in the spot of the angle, then that is just the name of your angle. So this is just angle K. Most often though, this is what you're going to see. So you will have the sides or the legs labeled and then the vertex labeled. And so you use those letters to create your angle name. The vertex always goes in the middle. So this could be angle ABC, with B, the vertex being in the middle, or you can go the other way. You can also label this CBA, angle CBA. Either way works. All right, and then finally we have a couple angles here. So I'm going to, or you should pause it actually, and label all these, and then I'm going to fill them in and you can check to see if you're right. All right, so here is your answer key. You have an obtuse angle in the top left corner, an acute angle, a right angle in the bottom right, and a straight angle in the bottom left. This will be on the quiz on Friday. So I know it's review, but just make sure that you understand all of these. And that is your introduction to angles.